Hi, I'm Irv Miller.
And I'm Melia Allen on location in Pensacola, Florida, and we're going to visit 2 landmark restaurants where we'll get the skinny on how they come up with their favorite recipes.
Today I'm going to make one of my most requested dishes, my fantastic coastal crab cakes. I've been preparing this dish for over 10 years, and today I'm going to let you in on a few of my secrets. We'll also be making my version of the classic remoulade sauce, so stay tuned with us for this and more on today's Flavors of the Coast.
Support for Flavors of the Coast is provided by Jansen Quality Construction, family-owned since 1997. Jansen Craftsmanship, Jansen Quality, Jansen Value. Jansen Quality Construction, remodeling specialists serving the Gulf Coast. The Canandaigua Wine Company, introducing fine wines from Covey Run and Columbia. Canandaigua, quality wines for the enjoyment of everyday life. ESP Natural Gas, your energy choice for warm, comfortable heat, endless hot water, and precise cooking. ESP Natural Gas, the natural choice. And by Kesco, your restaurant equipment source in Northwest Florida for more than 20 years, providing cooking and refrigeration equipment as well as design, layout, delivery, and installation services. Welcome to Flavors of the Coast, your ticket to the food, the flavor, and the fun of some of our favorite destinations from New Orleans to Tampa Bay. And now, here's award-winning executive chef Irv Miller.
Hi, I'm Irv Miller. Welcome to Flavors of the Coast. Today I'll be preparing my delicate crab cakes with lemon butter, brown sauce, a little bit of sweet potato hay, and some roasted pecans. Now let's go for a flavorful road trip with Melia Allen to visit some of my good friends and chefs, Gus Silvas of Scopolo's Restaurant and Jim Shirley of the Fish House. Join us for an up-close look at some of our best flavors of the coast.
Ever since Spanish settlers landed on our shores in 1559, Pensacola has been a gumbo of nationalities and cultures. Spanish, French, British, Confederate, and U.S. flags have all flown over Pensacola at one time, fighting over an area with abundant natural resources, a strategically advantageous location, and a natural deep water harbor. Today, those many influences can still be seen in Pensacola's historic architecture, festivals, and most of all, food. Our first stop is the Fish House, located along Pensacola Bay's historic downtown waterfront. The Fish House attracts local business people throughout the downtown area and is a great spot for both locals and visitors to sit out on the open-air deck and enjoy the view. There we caught up with Jim Shirley, who shared some divine secrets of his famous dish, grits à ya-ya.
A grit is the base of a kernel of corn. It requires nice slow cooking. We're going to cook some applewood smoked bacon. It's got a real rich smoky flavor. We'll start out sauteing shallots and garlic and a little butter. Toss in some fresh portobello mushrooms, some nice baby spinach, and then a little heavy cream. And then we're going to take our smoked Gouda cheese grits and use that as the base for the plate. And over the top of that, we're going to lay our portobello and spinach sauce. And over the top of that, some spiced shrimp that we finished off on our flat top. And to finish the dish, we'll use some sweet potato hay, which is finely shredded sweet potato that's been crisped up.
The divine aroma from this dish had me anticipating my first bite, and oh, what a delight it was. The grits were creamy and cheesy, and the shrimp's delicate taste was complemented by the other flavors of spinach and bacon. It's become one of the Fish House's most requested dishes.
Actually, it's been my best-selling dish since the conception, and I've actually been a guest chef at some restaurants in Manhattan, and also in Washington, D.C. we did the Taste of the South, which was a congressional fundraiser for about 1,200 people. We did grits yaya, and it was a lot of fun.
Even the name of this dish is fun. Jim says grits yaya was created for his friends during Mardi Gras, something that would stick to their ribs to keep them going all day. The first time he prepared it, the Rolling Stones were singing "Get Your Yayas Out," and the name stuck. Besides the excellent food, the popularity of the Fish House could be attributed to its location right on the waterfront, its view of the bay, downtown, and the historic district all in one.
As you can see, this place is incredible. It's a perfect location. You have boats that come in, they can bring me fresh fish straight to the docks. And when the opportunity came to acquire this space, there were no questions.
There's no question that the Fish House has a permanent place in the hearts and stomachs of Pensacolians. It's a little Southern, a little Asian, and a whole lot good. Travel along beautiful scenic highway which fronts the red bluffs along Pensacola Bay, and you'll arrive at Scopolo's, a family-owned restaurant since 1959. Dine in lush surroundings with gorgeous views of the bay. We sat down with executive chef Gus Silivos of Scopolo's to discuss the rich heritage of his family and restaurant.
My grandfather came here during World War II, had a small cafe, and that's how the history started with the Silivos family being in Pensacola. So I'm the third generation. My father started Scopolo's back in 1959. Then it was a breakfast, lunch, and dinner restaurant. As it developed over the years to be a fine dining place, we've pretty much been a word-of-mouth, a local type landmark. As a matter of fact, the name of the restaurant is from the island of Scopolo's, where our family's from.
Even though Scopolo's has entertained locals and out-of-towners for decades, there was one guest who was especially memorable.
We have been very fortunate to have President and Mrs. Bush, the older. They had visited Pensacola to honor him at the museum for the plane similar to the one that he flew during World War II. And we got a surprise visit on a Friday night. We got a call about 45 minutes prior to their arrival saying that the president was coming to dinner. We do many weddings. We have banquet facilities that accommodate up to 300 people stand up. The backdrop and the pictures that we have seen over the years, have been amazing. It's just, I guess, the color combination of the green grass and the sky and the water. We're going to do a shrimp kadaifi, which is one of our signature dishes here at Scopolo's. It's a combination of the Greek and the local seafood. We use local shrimp. We use the white shrimp. We season it with salt and pepper. We coat it with flour. We dip it into an egg wash mixture, which is primarily whole eggs and milk. We take the shredded phyllo and open it up and wrap the shredded phyllo around the shrimp, and then we French fry it. And then we're going to do a cream reduction with fresh spinach. And that will be our base for the sauce. That will cook down, and we'll place it on a plate along with the shrimp. Then we'll remove and drain, put over the spinach and the cream reduction, and garnish it with some diced tomatoes. When it cooks, it looks like a bird's nest effect because of the phyllo. It looks almost like capellini pasta, maybe a little thinner. It gives it a really unique appearance as well as flavor.
Special thanks to Jim Shirley from the Fish House and Gus Silivos from Scopolo's for showing us their signature recipes. Next, we'll head back to the kitchen where our own chef, Irv Miller, will prepare one of his.
Those were some great dishes, Melia. Now I'm going to get started on my crab cakes. Now, the first thing that I wanted to do was talk to you about the crab meat itself. I've chosen, and I normally do, lump crab meat with my crab cakes. And this, of course, is jumbo lump crab meat, which is super expensive. But the best point about it is there's no shell that you have to pick out, and the lumps are nice and solid, and they show when you actually make the crab cake itself. So you can actually use crab claw meat or a lesser quality special meat or lump meat. You will have to pick some shells out, and it may change the ratio of breadcrumbs just a little bit. but I'll talk about that as I add my breadcrumbs when I get a little further along. Now the first step in this particular dish is I want to start sauteing some peppers and a little bit of onion. I have a little bit of red onion here. I'm going to go ahead and add that. And I always use red peppers, but I'm adding some yellow peppers today for a little bit of extra color. Now I'm just going to saute these together, maybe for a minute. And then I will add this to the rest of my mixture. I'll turn this down just a little bit and let this cook while I go to the next step. Now the easiest way to remember this is to mix the wet ingredients first and then add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. So that's what I'm going to do. Normally when you make crab cakes, the traditional method, or I should say the Maryland style method, you use mayonnaise to bind the crab cakes with. My recipe that I've developed for over a decade now, I do a technique that's more like a custard, more of a European technique. And it makes it delicate and rich and acts as a binder as well. So I've taken 1 egg and a little bit of cream, and I'm just going to whisk that together. And this acts as my mayonnaise as the particular binder of the crab cakes. Now once you have the custard, and that is actually a custard when you make eggs and cream, I'm going to add some dry mustard and incorporate some of these dry ingredients in here real well. Now in Maryland and in my style of crab cakes that I developed, I always use a particular Old Bay seasoning which has a lot of flavor and has all the ingredients built in. And it works every time. And you can buy this at your local grocery store. And I want to make sure that you realize that these crab cakes can be reproduced at home very, very easy, and I encourage you to go out and try this recipe. Now my next step would be to take the crab meat itself, once it's been picked through, and this is already clean, and it's beautiful crab meat. I'm just going to go ahead and coat the crab with the mixture, and at this point I'm going to add a little bit of hot sauce. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and remove my peppers and let them cool just a little bit. And I'm getting my pan nice and hot so when I put my crab cakes together, I'll be able to saute them. So I'm going to put about a teaspoon of hot sauce in here, and now would be the time to do it since there's no breading in here yet. You can actually have a great mixture evenly coated. And this is just my preferred hot sauce. It's not too overly hot, and if you like it really, really spicy, you can use your favorite hot sauce. Now, once these peppers have cooled, add the peppers to it. And just mix that in. Now I'm mixing kind of delicately because I don't want to break up the lumps too much. I want to see those lumps. Now the next step would be to add your breadcrumbs to it. Now you could use a panko breadcrumb, which is a little bit lighter and has no spices and has a coarse texture to it. But I've been using Italian breadcrumbs because they always have the seasoning mix in them, and you can buy it readily available at the grocery store. And I definitely would like you to be able to reproduce these at home. So I'm going to go ahead and add my breadcrumbs, a little bit at a time. And there really is an art to making crab cakes. Now the breadcrumb is a dry breadcrumb, so keep in mind that ideally you would want